also an expert in pomology, which is the study of fruit and nuts. Before I even take out the shovel, you said there were some things that I needed to remember.
Yeah, the first thing you need to know is what zone you're in, and you also need to know what your frost-free dates are. The zone will help you decide whether or not you can grow that particular tree fruit species, and also the frost-free dates.
And why is the frost-free date important?
Well, different tree fruit species will bloom at different times, and so if it blooms earlier than the frost-free date, you can lose the flowers to frost and then get no fruit set.
Good point. Where would I find that information?
The Extension Service provides that for you.
All right. Fruit trees, kind of like kids, they grow up a lot differently than they look in the beginning.
They sure do.
So before I go to the nursery or the garden center, what should I have with me?
Well, the first thing I would do as a homeowner is I would measure the space in your backyard that you want. Just take the tape measure out there, and then go to your retail nursery and tell them what area you have, and they'll help you decide on what size tree to plant.
Can you show me some different selections?
Sure.
So Anita, what if I only have a very small space? What do I do?
Well, when you go to the nursery, you're going to want to ask them for a tree that's on a dwarfing rootstock.
All right. Now, you have been studying trees for about 18 years, so give me some of your favorites.
Well, I would be looking for example, Liberty on a Malling 7 rootstock or M7 rootstock, or maybe even on a Malling 26, an M26. You could plant a Jonagold on M7 or M26, and even a Gala, or a Gala, as they say down under, on Malling 26 or 7.
What's the M about?
M stands for Malling, and these rootstocks were developed in England at a research institute there at East Malling, so M is for Malling.
So that's where they developed the dwarf rootstock?
Yep, in the early 1900s.
Oh, okay. Now, can I plant just one apple tree?
No, no. In fact, you want to plant a pollinizer variety with your apple, your main variety, and always want to have at least 2 varieties that bloom at the same time.
All right, and is there any new research that's being done in cherry trees?
That's an exciting new development. We used to have to plant pollinizer varieties in cherries, and now you can actually plant a single variety that is self-fruitful.
I would love to see that.
Great, we can go look. This is a variety that was selected because it's self-fruitful. And as I mentioned before, apples aren't self-fruitful, well these are, meaning they will set fruit without a pollinizer.
So I can plant just one if I'm short on space.
Exactly. So perfect for the home gardener, so they don't have to plant many cherry trees. They can just plant one variety.
Will I get as much fruit?
As much or more, because they were actually selected for being even more productive than the standard varieties.
Well, no kidding. What a great benefit.
Yeah.
Now, if I am going to plant a fruit tree, any kind of a fruit tree, it sounds like I'm going to put quite a bit of effort into it.
Absolutely. You figure an orchard is going to last somewhere at least between 15 and 20 years. So you have to carefully plant that tree, get it established. You have to train the tree to the desired shape that you want. You'll have to spray for various insect and disease and weed pests so that you can produce fruit that you can eat.
What about if I try to do it organically?
I'm also an organic grower, and we still have to spray for different diseases and insects. We just use different types of substances that are naturally derived instead of synthetically produced.
All right. Most important thing about planting for success.
Yes, not just planting, but planting. We want to make sure that the ground is adequately prepared. You want the pH of the soil to be about 6.5.
And I can get a test kit at the garden center.
Just get the test kit there. And then you can amend the soil, maybe half your soil with half compost.
Okay.
And then you want to plant the tree, and you want to make sure that you plant it so that the graft union is above the soil line. And in apples in particular, it's very important because the variety on top will root and you'll lose the dwarfing characteristics of that tree.
All right. Oh my goodness. So I have to keep that top part where the knot is that looks like a rose graft above the ground.
Yep.
Anita, thank you so much for showing us around today.
Oftentimes we see a plant in the garden that looks sick and we're not sure what's wrong. Well, the plant doctor is in. Dr. Jay Scheidt is the Extension plant pathologist for Oregon State University.